All right, yet another racist. This occurred at Baraboo High School, Baraboo, Wisconsin. And what you're gonna see in a moment is a white father jumping on the stage as his daughter's about to get her diploma and shake the hands of the school board. And he immediately goes to the black man on the stage and pushes him off the frame of the view of the video, but you can hear the conversation. Let's get into the video. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use. Here we go.
Oh, excuse me. Where's Brendan? Where's Brendan? Where's Brendan?
Get away from me, bro.
No, 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 no. Hey,
Hey, no, no, no. Hey,
go.
hey, you need to get. Hey,
Walk
hey,
away.
hey, hey, hey.
Walk away.
You gotta go. I will get off. Out right now. I don't care. I don't care. Get off the stage right now.
That way, Michael. No, no.
Did you catch that? You see how all the students immediately began to cheer, and she tried to stop them from cheering? The whole auditorium started to cheer. So hateful. You don't want him shaking your daughter's hand. You know, this 2024 and people like that still exist. And, you know, some people think ain't no racism anymore and it's never went anywhere. It's still here. Some people are just delusional, knowing that it's false, knowing that racism hasn't went anywhere. I believe the people that say there's no more racism are probably the biggest racists. You know, they try to deny it, but it's still here. And this girl, I don't know what the issue with him is. Maybe I don't know what the issue with this father is. Maybe his daughter has a black boyfriend and he can't keep her away from that black boyfriend. So, in a last ditch effort, he tries to keep the superintendent away, and who knows what's going on with this, but I just like to speculate on some things. Barber, what's the name of the school? Baraboo? Baraboo? 2024, and this guy jumps on the stage, and you can hear the superintendent telling him, "Man, you better get away from me." You know that's assault. Anytime you put your hands on someone like that, that's assault. You didn't get physical with him, you know, but you touching him, that's considered assault. He lucky this superintendent didn't whoop his ass. Couldn't have been me. I would have got him up off of me. I wouldn't have moved 1 inch. We would have had a problem. You know, that's just me. Oh, that's wild, bro. That is wild. I've never seen that before. A dad jumping on stage because he don't want his daughter shaking some black man hand. That sounds like some shit from the 60s. We'll go ahead and read this article real quick. Your Tango. Never heard of it. Dad disrupts Wisconsin graduation to keep schools. You see how they do the titles of these articles? Wisconsin graduation. Hold on, let me go back to the top. Dad disrupts Wisconsin graduation to keep school superintendent from shaking his daughter's hand. I don't want her touching him. But it leaves out the fact that the superintendent is black. You know, they deliberately try to stay away from telling the reader what it is in the title anyway. You know, put in the title what it is. Dad disrupts Wisconsin graduation to keep black school superintendent from shaking his white daughter's hand. keep it a buck, you know? Keep it a buck. Like somebody wanted to touch you anyway. Let's keep reading on. The physical attack on Superintendent Rainey Briggs, a black man, follows previous incidents of shocking racism in the town. Oh, previous incidents of racism in the town. Oh, do tell. I might have to go back and see what was going on in that town. Do a few stories real quick. Probably be a follow up after this video, y'all. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and jump into it right now. All right, I'm going back and taking a look at some of the past incidents in Baraboo. Baraboo, I think that's how you pronounce it. Is this the one? Read more. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find it. I should have been more better situated. From Wisconsin Public Radio. After years of racist slurs and treatment, former Baraboo student says a weight was lifted after settlement reached. Lawsuit described a pattern of racial slurs, harassment, sexual assault. Oh, Baraboo just down and greasy with the racism, huh? So it's not shocking that a parent would do that in the middle of a graduation. When 18-year-old Dashay Banks heard earlier this month that the Baraboo School District agreed to settle a lawsuit she had filed alleging years of racial harassment at her schools, she said it felt like a weight was lifted. It was a lot of waiting and trying to see what would happen, she said. With the settlement, it kind of feels like I can breathe a little bit. Let's get into what was actually did. The suit details years of harassment beginning when Banks was in first grade. Wow, classmates teased her about her coarse hair and her skin color. The usual. Racial incidents continued through middle and high school and were met with deliberate indifference by school officials, the lawsuit said. Yes, I've said this on many videos that a lot of times when this happens and the kid that's getting that type of treatment goes to the teachers or principal, that many times nothing has happened to the student, and when you retaliate and fight back, then they will come after you. This is typical anywhere we go in these school systems. The teenager said she told the officials she was called a cotton picker slut and the N word. Her brother said her high school students flew Confederate flags from their cars. According to the lawsuit, the principal of Baraboo High School said the students doing so were ignorant of the meaning and brought up free speech issues. So the principal said that's freedom of speech. Said that racism was freedom of speech. That's a new one. Banks' mother, Megan Ray, took a job with the Baraboo High School District during Banks' eighth grade year, working as a basketball coach and a teacher at Jack Young Middle School. She said she repeatedly heard the N word used, and when she spoke to students about it, they also called her the N word. Liz Cremond, Baraboo Director of Communications, said in the email that she could confirm the matter had been resolved, but that the district was declining to comment further. Of course, the Baraboo School District came under fire in 2018 after photos surfaced of a large group of Baraboo students making a Nazi salute. Really? Mark Thompson, one of Banks' attorneys in her lawsuit, said school officials have the information then to start correcting issues of racism and discrimination in the district. But of course they didn't, because they agree with it. After the photo of the Nazi salute went viral, they actually hired a consultant that pointed out that they had a serious problem with the racial hostility environment. He said when Baraboo was put on notice, there was young folks with Confederate flags in Dashay's space over and over again, and that the N word was used constantly in the hallways. They had an obligation to put an end to the conduct, and they didn't. Banks, her mother, and her brother moved to Georgia when she was in third grade, where Banks attended a much more diverse school. According to 2019 data, the 3,000 student Baraboo School District is 80% white and only 1.5% black. I absolutely love Georgia, said Banks. Teachers were calling me a leader. I had a lot of friends. It was just an overall better environment, I bet. Get away from them hillbillies and you be all right. All right, let me keep reading. She had a similar experience in sixth grade when her family moved to South Carolina. Oh, wow. However, after a short time at both schools, she, her mom, and her brother had to move back to Baraboo for family reasons. Her feelings about going back were torn between worries about school and excitement about returning to family and familiarity. I really didn't want to, but then again, I was excited because that's where I was from, she said. When the racial harassment got worse, I was getting C's and D's. Like many students who experienced racial harassment and bullying at school, the hostile school environment affected Banks' grades. I was always getting looked at every time they talked about slavery or just anything about a black person, she said. Everybody would just turn their heads and look at me. Oh, they all in unison, huh? Ray pulled her daughter out of Baraboo at the end of her freshman year, and she started at Madison East High School her sophomore year. Banks said to Madison, blah 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 blah. So there you see it. This article tells you what type of area Baraboo is. Let's see if I can find a picture of the Nazi salute. Let's go back to this Wisconsin Examiner. Not just a picture, Baraboo 1 year later. It was the prom picture that went around the world. It was supposed to be a lighthearted celebratory snapshot. It turned into anything but that. A picture of teenage boys, the majority of them with their arms stuck out in the air, parroting a Nazi salute to the camera. Okay, I do recall this story with their little Nazi salute. Let's see if we can find the picture. Then I'll read some of this article for you. It was the pre-prom picture that went around the world, blah, blah, blah. The picture became public in November 2018, 6 months after it was taken, when it showed up anonymously on Twitter. I don't think the community reaction was monolithic by any means, says Alex Paulson, a Baraboo elementary and middle school teacher active in the community's response to the incident. But across the board, he adds, it was emotion, visceral, and raw. There was denial, local residents who minimized what had taken place when the picture was taken. Yeah, they agree with it. And their outright hostility, anonymous anti-Semitic and racist flyers that surfaced periodically after the photo came to light. Baraboo Police Chief Mark Schaff, I'm not going to even try to, tells the Wisconsin Examiner that this department has investigated a handful of incidents from posting of anti-Semitic flyers to, for a brief time, a scurrilous video put up on the internet mocking teachers at the school with anti-Semitic and anti-LGBT language that raised concerns and frightened some in the community. No suspects have been identified, and none of the incidents have so far included direct threats to individuals that will put them outside the bounds of First Amendment protection for freedom of speech, Schaaf says. So they're going back to that freedom of speech. But others in Baraboo refuse to turn their backs on the ugly image. Instead, with support from the city's mayor, they have embarked on an ongoing campaign of teaching and learning, a continuing effort to bring out the best potential for the future in this city of 12,000 people. It cultivated a lot of urgency in the community, Paulson says. We're going to have a really bad day. Baraboo School Superintendent Lori Mueller found out about the picture when the rest of the world did, originally posted on November 11th, 2018, on an anonymous Twitter account. The image was amplified by a journalist who tweeted the image the next day, along with claims of widespread racism bullying at the school. And that sounds correct. We need to huddle up, Mueller says. She told school district administrators that morning, we're going to have a really bad day. Damage control is what she's doing. Social media posts in the next few hours kindled a wildfire of accusations online. 4,000 email messages poured into the school district. Should have been more than that. Many brimming with condemnation and some containing death threats. They blamed the school district and its personnel for the picture. National media coverage swiftly followed. It was my role to serve as a lightning rod as school superintendent, recalls Mueller. All right, you know what's going on. So, Baraboo, yeah, I do remember that picture going viral. We were all talking about it on Twitter, little Nazi bastards. But, yeah, I read these stories, and if it has any extra details in it about past incidents, I got to go back and check it out and bring it to you and let you see what's going on. Full circle. Barbara Bar Bar Baraboo. Hard to pronounce, man. But anyway, this is not surprising. We got a lot of little towns out here like this, and some big towns. It is what it is, man. And for this young lady that sued, I'm glad she got that payday up out of him. I wouldn't want a child of mine to attend a school like that. The first incident that we have is going to be a problem. I guess you do the right thing. You don't let nobody run you off. But I just think for a child to learn, they need to be in a good a good environment. And no matter what you do, like even get a settlement from a lawsuit, then it's still nothing happened. Look at what this man did on the stage while his daughter's graduating. So I do believe, when you got your kids, you don't want to. With me, I feel though, I can deal whatever comes my way. Sometimes I'll be waiting for some shit like this to happen to me. I just do because I can handle it. I'm built for it. But if that's your kids, I can understand you wanting to get your kids out of an environment like that so they can learn with all that foolishness going on. Uh, this is quite a long video, and we'll just leave this right here and let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.